7:04 is your time right now. How do you react when an unmasked person walks by you at a grocery store? Or what if someone coughs in your direction in the street? Scenarios like this are a part of our, quote, new normal. And this morning we're breaking down those new etiquette rules in the age of COVID-19. Dr. Carole Lieberman joins us this morning with more on this. Dr. Carole, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We know you're joining us from the West Coast, so you're up early, so we very much appreciate it.
You're very welcome.
So obviously this has been a discussion over the last few months here about the mask mandates that are going into effect across the country. We have that here in Wisconsin right now. And first, as a doctor, why do you believe in masks and are they working?
Well, actually, I believe that everybody has the right to make their own decision about masks. I think that what we have to realize, though, in terms of interacting with others, is that there is so much psychological baggage connected to masks. First, you have to figure out how you really feel yourself, and then you have to try to figure out if it's someone, not just in the grocery store, but someone, you know, your spouse or a best friend or something like that, or your boss. You have to, negotiate that relationship. But what's key to all of this is to understand the psychological symbolism of masks. For what it says to a lot of people is mortality. In other words, whether you wear it or you don't wear it or you see somebody wearing it, that's a big flashing sign. We're all going to die. You could die from this. There is danger in the world. You could die. And that is very scary, needless to say. And it also has other symbolism like, bad guys in movies wear masks. Of course, there's all this political connection to it. If you wear a mask or you don't, you're saying you believe in one political party or the other. It's all the things associated with masks. It's not just whether masks work or not.
So what would you tell people, you're at the grocery store and somebody's criticizing you for wearing a mask or not wearing a mask? What do you do in that situation? What should you say? What should you do?
Well, in a grocery store or on the street, when it's someone who you don't have to have in your life after that, the best thing to do is to walk away, because people have what I call corona rage these days. It's like road rage. We're all so on edge, and that if you say something, you don't know, the person could be violent, or it's just not worth it to start a whole big, scuffle when you could just walk away and walk outside, go back in a little while later, or walk on the other side of the street. It's not worth it. It's the people who you want to be involved with for the rest of your life or continuing in your life that you need to be more, sensitive to. But people these days, we've been told so many different conflicting stories. At the beginning, don't wear masks, then wear masks, and, what kind of mask, and all of that. And then we have people like Dr. Fauci telling us, don't just wear masks. He was suggesting the other day we wear goggles. So the next thing is hazmat suits. So we need to kind of be tolerant and understanding about all of these psychological aspects to it, and not just boil it down to whether you wear a mask or not.
Now, obviously, here in Wisconsin, a lot of kids are going to be going back to school here in the coming weeks. I think we're 2 or 3 weeks away from the start of school, and with the mask mandate here, a lot of parents are having the discussion about masks in schools. What should parents be doing to explain to their kids about the masks and making them kind of known, and also try to avoid that bullying aspect in schools as well?
Yes, well, parents need to explain. Masks, of course, going back to school, masks are a good idea, just to be extra cautious. And they could be made into something fun, drawing things on the mask, like a superhero face, or just anything, clowns, something to make it fun. You can do something different every day. But so parents should explain that, yes, it would be a good idea to wear masks. Don't bully anybody who isn't wearing a mask. Leave that to your teacher, or just don't say anything. But really, the kids, first of all, it's very important for kids to go back to school. Let's start with that, because kids are really having a very tough time at home. They're not really learning as well from Zoom and all of that. So wearing a mask, if that's the price that you have to pay to go to school, it's certainly worth it.
Now, I know obviously a lot of people are in a lot of different situations. One of the things my family's always talked about is everyone's going to have a different opinion. Everyone's going to do different things. It kind of feels like just where you're comfortable in. If you want to wear a mask, great. If you don't, then don't. But I think a lot of people have made this political. What's been your kind of experience with that? And that, you know, everyone thinks, well, if you're wearing a mask, your belief in this, or if you're not, you're not. What would you say about that?
Well, yes. I mean, there is that side to it. You know, there's the side on the one hand, you could say, well, it doesn't hurt to wear a mask. I mean, you know, there have been some people out there saying like mask face, mask skin or whatever. But on the whole, it doesn't really hurt you to wear a mask, but except, I mean, physically. But certainly there is the whole dark side to it of are we turning into George Orwell's 1984? Where mayors and governors are able to tell us first it's, you know, lockdowns and now masks. And so we do have to be wary of this and to just not let this be the stepping stone, slippery slope into just being controlled by mayors and governors beyond what is their right. I mean, you know, we need to make sure we have liberties. We still keep our liberties.
Well, Dr. Carole, any final message you have for our viewers here in Wisconsin this morning?
Yes. What I suggest is that what people can have control of isn't necessarily what the person is wearing in the store or even your BFF or, you know, whoever. But what you do have control of is your own immunity. What you need to be worrying about or thinking about, doing something about, is building your own immunity by the basic things like eating nutritious food, getting enough sleep, getting enough exercise, getting enough sunshine, taking vitamins, taking supplements to build your immune system, that kind of thing. If you make your own immunity stronger and key thing, trying to not have stress, get stress out of your life or decrease stress. I mean, we can't get it totally out, but we can certainly decrease the stress. And all of these things combined can build your immune system, and then it isn't really as important as to whether somebody walks by you without a mask.
All right, Dr. Carole Lieberman joining us from California this morning again. Dr. Carole, we appreciate you waking up with us extra early on the West Coast this morning.
Thank you.